Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today I'm going to be doing an updated version of TinkerBell. I know I have a version of TinkerBell out there, but there are a few little things that I want to tweak on her, so we're going to be doing a new one. First tweak is that we're going to use Crafty Ladybug's design of putting hair at the back of the head. I think that looks so much nicer. And the other thing that we're going to do is make a standing up skirt. I've had a lot of people asking if she can wear a standing up skirt. Absolutely, any of them can. It's just a matter of changing out the colours for the colours that you want. So I will show you how to make a standing up skirt for this one. We're going to have our loom in the offset configuration, which means that columns 1 and 3 are slightly lower than column 2. The arrow is facing towards us. If you don't have an arrow, it's the open part of the peg that faces towards us. We're going to be double banding, and that means you take 2 bands and you place them on the pegs together as if they were one. Now I'm starting out with yellow bands for her hair. And as you can see, I'm coming all the way down. I'm doing Crafty's style. Oops. I will probably do this for all my figures now. I think it's the most amazing technique. If you haven't checked out her channel, please do so. Okay, so from here I'm going to put a single yellow and stretch it between these 3 pegs, and then I'm going to put a single yellow and stretch between the other 3 pegs above it, like that. I'm going to take a single skin tone and wrap it around my hook twice and use that here as an end cap. I'm going to dig down and find those 2 yellow bands and loop them up to the center, and then I'm going to find the 2 top yellow bands and loop to their side, and the next 2 top go to the other side, the middle come up twice, and the sides come up once. Push those crossover bands back with the back of your hook. Alright, push those all down. Once you've done that, push that all down. We're going to make a little top knot for her, so you take 4 bands, put them on your hook and twist once. Okay, then we're going to take another 4 bands and we'll put those on the end of our hook, and we're going to slide these on. Now I want to try and lift them and move them on so they don't get all snagged and snarly. Okay, take your hook out, and using 2 bands at a time you're going to splay these out like so. Make sure that you've got the 2 matching ends of the same band. Place, oh, little bug. Place your hook, little fly, through here, one side, the bottom side, and then the top side of the same band, and take the 2 closest to you up, over and off, and pull. We're going to do the same. Don't pull too tight. Go through the bottom and then through the top on the other side. Take the 2 closest to you up, over and off, and reclaim those other bands. And this is how we're doing her little bun. You can sort of splay these out a little bit like that. Okay, so that's her little bun, and we'll pop that on the top of her head just there. Okay, now let's do her face. Skin tone bands. You skip these first 3 pegs and you come down here to the middle, because she's got hair at the top of her head, hasn't she? Whoa, nearly threw my bands everywhere. That would have made for an interesting morning. Not. Okay, place these across. Place 2 for the neck. And then we have 1 that we're stretching across here for her face, and another one will go across these 2. Twist it once and twice and 3 times, and that will stop the eyes from falling to the back of her head. Okay, now I'm going to be using beads for my eyes, and I'm going to thread them onto a single skin tone. You can use bands, it doesn't have to be beads. You can get black bands or whatever colour bands you want. one, I'm going to use yellow just to show you, but you place it on your hook and you wrap it once, twice, 3 times and 4 times. That is one eye. That equates to 1 bead. So you do the same with another one. Wrap it once, twice, 3 times and 4 times, and then you would slide those onto a skin tone band, just like we would with the beads. So just because I'm using beads doesn't mean you have to. You can just use bands like that, and you would place it across just like I'm about to. So I'm going to stretch my band across those 2 pegs. Make sure the beads are either side of her face, and then using your hook, grab the top part of that band and lift it up and over this peg here, and that now acts as a crossover band. Okay, so that's her face. Now before we continue, there's one little trick that we need to do. As you can see, we've got 2 bands here for the neck, but we've also got that end cap here. Put your hook through the end cap and bring it up and on top of the bands for the neck. It has to sit on top. That hooks the hair, the back of the hair, into the neck. Alright? Alright, let's do her shoulders. Now I'm using a kind of jelly green for her little outfit. I'm double banding. If you remember, I said I was double banding. Now I'm going to be placing 2 from here to here and 2 from here to here, but I want to place skin tone bands first for her legs. So a pair of skin tone and a pair of skin tone. So skin tone to the bottom. Now I have my 2 green from the center to the right and 2 green from the center to the left. I'm going to put an end cap here, single band, wrap it once and twice and pop that here as an end cap. I'm now going to place some crossover bands, so a single band. I'm going to stretch it across those 3 pegs. Now for her waist, I'm going to draw her in at these 2 sides because I want her to look like she's got a waist. So I'm going to take a single green band, stretch it, figure 8, loop it on itself and place that between those 3 pegs. And I'm going to do the same for the one above. Okay. I'm going to put a single, just normal, here, like that. Now for her arms, I'm going to take a single skin tone, wrap it once and twice, and I'm going to slide that onto a pair of skin tone. I'm going to do 4 more pair of skin tone. I like my arms to be 5 pair with an end cap. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I pop that here on the shoulder. I'm going to do the same for the other side. Single, wrap it round my hook twice, slide onto a pair, that's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5, and I'll pop that on her other shoulder right here. Okay, next I'm going to do her shoes. I'm going to use the same colour, the jellyish green. I'm going to take 2 bands, wrap it once and twice, and slide onto 2 bands. I'm going to take 2 more green bands, wrap once and twice, and I'm going to take these 2 bands here and move them up and over those wrapped bands. I'm going to use 2 skin tone bands to slide all of these onto, like that. Okay, and that will pop here on the end of her leg. Let's do the same again for the other side. A skin tone, wrap it a green, 2 greens, wrap once and twice, slide onto 2 greens and reclaim the end. 2 greens, wrap once and twice and move these up and over like that. Then you're going to take a pair of skin tone and slide these all over onto it. Usually I'm very careful about sliding the first 2 bands and then the wrapped band, because I don't like it getting tangled. And what did I do? I tangled it. Okay, slide those all over, reclaim the end, angle the foot the other way, and pop that on here, like so. Okie dokie. Get my bands out the way. I think we're ready to loop our little girl up. So push back with your hook and you're grabbing these 2 bottom skin tone bands and loop up and loop up. And when we get to here, we're going to dig down. Actually, I'm telling you fibs, we're going to loop up first because we're not doing trousers. Trousers, I like it to be these side bits first. So loop the leg in, then go past the end cap in the middle here and grab those 2 top bands, loop to the side, and loop to the side. Loop the middle one up, and you can loop the side ones. Now you're just going for the bottom 2 green. Like that. Now let's dig down, grab the 2 skin tone. I like to do the arms next before the chest, just so that I know that I've got the arms looped in. It's awful if you've done your whole figure and you take her off the loom and you didn't do the arms and the arms fall off. Alright, dig down, we're going to grab these 2 and loop up. Now we're going for the 2 top skin tone bands, loop to the side, the next 2 loop to their side, and dig down. Now you need to be careful that you're not grabbing the skin tone of the end cap that's here. You just want those 2 bands. Okay, loop up, dig down here, find those 2 skin tone bands, loop up and loop up. Now we're going for the bottom 2 yellow bands. This ties the hair in at the side. Face. Okay, I'm going to take 2 green bands and I'm going to tie off with the green bands because I'm going to then wrap it around her bun. So push your hooks down the center of this middle peg here and out through the end here. Grab the 2 green bands and drag them back through to the top of where her bun is. Okay, now what we need to do, I'm going to splay open the two at the back there and bring them forward in front of that bun like that. Taking these two, I'm going to take them off and pull tight. But then what I'm going to do is wrap this around her bun like that to secure it. I'm going to use the back of a metal hook to help me take this off the loom. Take her off the loom and stretch her out a bit. Now, as you can see, her hair at the back here, we have a couple of loops that are a bit loopy. So all you do is just even them out. Put your hook behind and just pull them so that they spread out evenly. And I think that looks so much nicer, having hair at the back of her head. Okay, now the first little skirt that we'll do will be her little leaf skirt. Oh, let me put some bubbles on the end of her shoes. I had a lady asking me how to do that. So what I'm going to do, take a single white band, wrap it once, twice and 3 times, and I'm going to take a little green single band, slide it on, reclaim the end, pinching those white together. I'm going to tie it like that, and then all I do to make a bubble for her foot is pop that round her foot like so. Okay, and I'm going to just twist it and wrap it around her little foot like that. Okay, so it kind of looks like little laces with a white bubble on the top there. And if it's not even, just poke your hook through, twist it around a few times, and that's how I did the bubble. Let's do the other one. 1, 2, 3. If you want it tighter, you can make it 4, wrap it around 4 times. Slide it on, reclaim the end, pinch these together so that they don't budge. Slide one over the other and pull tight. Grab her little foot, wrap it once and twice around her little foot, put the little bubble at the front. So there's her little white bubbles on her shoes. Okay. Now to do her little leaf dress, let's keep her here. I'm going to use the same colour. And what we're going to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these little leaves. Okay, so you take a pair and a pair, and it doesn't really matter what the offset is of your loom at this stage. One more pair, and then you put a pair on the column next to. You're going to take a single, wrap it once and twice as an end cap, pop that on the end here and dig down, grab those first 2 and loop them up, loop up, loop up. Take these off the loom and you're going to replace on top of those ones. Dig down and find the bottom 2 bands and loop up, and then you're going to put it on a holding hook. Okay, so take this off, and there is our first little leaf. Okay, now you can do it all the same colour. You can mix up. I've got these sweet ones as well, so I might do a couple, see what it looks like with them mixed up. These are sweet glitter, I think. So let's see what they look like. Do 3 down, 2 on the other column, and then pop your end cap on, grab those 2 bottom and drag to the side, loop up, take these ones off, move across to here, and then dig down, find those bottom 2, okay, so we could do a little leaf one like that as well. It really is completely up to you. It's your little skirt that she's going to be wearing. If you want to do 3 of each and have them around her, that's fine. So 2, 2, 2. Another way of doing it would be to lay your bands out and then use an end cap of a different colour, and that would look quite nice too. Somebody had asked me if I was going to do the whole series of the fairies, and yes, I think I will be. Might take me a while. So there's my 3rd little leaf. I should have put that on my holding hook. If you have to remove something from a hook, pinch it so that you don't lose your stitches. Okay. I think these ones are quite nice. Take these off, move over, and loop up. As I said, I need 6, I'm at 4. Single for your end cap. Now I can see I missed something there. I'm going to redo that one. If you have a band that slips, don't keep going. If you notice it, redo, because when it all falls apart at the end, you'll be mad at me. Alright, let's do our end cap again. Loop to the side, loop up, grab these ones off, and loop up. And we'll do one more in the sweet lime green. Down, loop to the side, loop up, move across. If I can, let's push that down, give myself a bit of room. There we are. And dig down. Now, we have our little leaves. I'm going to use dark green because it matches her bodice. I'm going to use 2 bands and I'm going to slide these all on to those 2 bands. Try not to get them muddled up or twisted too badly. Pull these other ones up. Keep this taut, that means tight. Okay, once you've got them all on those bands, reclaim the end of your bands, okay? You're going to take the 2 closest to you up, over and off in a slip knot, splay it out and pop your first closest leaf through it so that it's tied around it in a little slip knot like that. It's anchored it, okay? So this is her little skirt. This is a little tutu, and you can splay it out and pop it around her. Now if you feel that that is too tight and you want it to be looser, all you need to do, undo the little slip knot, okay, and what you're going to do is take 2 more green bands, hook that on, and you're going to do a little slip knot here and tie it tight. And then as you make it looser, go under that knot. Alright, and this is the point now. You've splayed it out a bit to the size you want. These two tie-off bands that you had here are going to go around the nearest little leaf. Now as you can see, that's a little bit loose, so what you might want to do, hold both of them, give it a twist and go around one more time, okay, just so that it's not too loose. But there is your little tutu, and all you would do for her to wear it, that one's looking very pointy, is splay it out, pop her legs through and slide it up her little body like so. Try not to rip her head off in the process. And even the little leaves out so that they're not bunched up. But there she is in her little tutu, okay? Oh, look at that, I left a great big gap in the back. There we go, little better. So there she is in her tutu. Now, as I said, a lot of people have asked me if she can be in a standing skirt. Absolutely she can. And I did make one here. This was the technique that Feeling Spiffy used, which is the growing up method, and I have a video on how to do that if you don't have a rainbow loom. If you do have a rainbow loom, the way to do this: pop out your middle column, pop out your big base plate. We're going to be using 8 pegs, so this is 1, 2, 3 and 4, so these ones are going to be our base plate. Now, to make it look pretty, you can do these little leaves at the bottom of your skirt. If you're going to do that, I should probably put this back together to show you how to do it, because you know how to make the little leaves. Okay, so let's say we're going to use the sweet, and I'll show you how to do these because I think it looks really cute. You would need to do 8 of them. You want 1 for each peg. Okay, so do these, take this off, put them on a holding hook. You're going to make 8, so I will pause the video and you catch me up and we'll meet back together when you've got 8 of these, okay? So I'm back, hopefully you are too. I am going to pop my middle column of pegs out and the big base plate. got my 8 little leaves here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick 8 pegs, and I'm going to move my leaves. I'm going to place one, let me take this off so that you can see what I'm doing. One side of the loops on one peg, and the other side of the loops on the other side, like that. And these have to actually face in, but they pop out at the end. Let's do another one. So 2 here and 2 here, and just flip that in. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I have to do one across the ways. One from there all the way to here, and twist it in. Get off my hook. And twist it in. If you don't have this type of loom, as I mentioned, I do have a tutorial on how to do it on a monster tail, and there's also one on how to do it on a loom that does not come apart like this. And flip those in. Push these, make sure they're pushed down. Okay, now we're going to add, I'm going to still use these sweet bands for the minute. I'm going to place 1, 2, 4. Place them all around, like so. Grab your hook. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm telling you lies. That was our first row. We need that was our second row. We need 3 rows on at a time. So my third row is also going to be the same sweet, and then on the 4th row I'll move to the darker green. Cat is talking. Okay, now what we're going to do, we need to find the bottom 4 bands, because we've got 2. Let me make sure I'm not telling you fibs. We've got 2 for each of the leaves. Say it's the bottom 4 bands, and then that leaves us with 4 bands on our loom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and push down. And this is why I said put the leaves inside, because it gets quite crowded. It does get easier once the leaves have moved. You do want to try and make sure that these are all in the order that you place them on the two, 3, 4. There's 2, 3, 4. So straighten them out if you need to. Oh, I can see that band is trying to escape. Let's push that back. 2, 3, 4. If in doubt, count how many you have on here. You should have 4. Okay. Oops, let's not hit the camera. So that's 3 and 4. Okay, push them down. Now I'm going to be moving to the darker jelly. This will be my row number 4. We need 16 rows. So let's take the next 2 at the bottom, up and over. Push everything down. That was 4. Now I'm on 5. You don't have to do the leaves at the bottom of the skirt. Oops, let's find that band. If you don't put the leaves on, all you do is the figure 8 twisted band at the bottom. And if you need a tutorial on how to do that, there is one. Push everything down. We're on number 6. So let's keep doing this and we will meet back up when we are on row number 16. So you have 10 more to do. Alright, and I will catch you back at row number 16. Alright. Okay, I have laid my bands for row number 16. So I'm going to take the bottom 2 and move them over all the way around. And then push them down. I'm now going to take the next 2, so I will be left with 2 bands on my pegs. Okay, 2 bands on each peg is all I need to have left. I was just thinking this sweet colour is lovely and it would be so nice to do Tiana in. When I have 2 on each peg, I'm going to collect those up on my hook. I'm holding the last one so that it, which is being stretched the most, does not fly off and we lose stitches. Alright, so here's my skirt. I'm now going to take, let me get my pencil out the way, my loom out the way. I'm going to take 2 bands and place one on my hook, like this. I'm going to place that one in the middle, reclaim the end and hold it like that. Take one over the other and there's my slip knot. Okay, now you can do 2 bands for that or 1, it doesn't really matter. 2 bands is insurance, isn't it? Slide all these loops for your skirt onto that single band. And I can see that I've got one that's trying to pretend it's a double band and it's not. Get off there, you. Alright. Slide them all over. Keep this nice and tight. If you loosen it, it makes it easier for them to fall off. Pull that through. Now, the reason I have 2 bands on is because I want to give us a bit of room to get this over our doll. So let's stretch these out. There we are. Now, this is the trickiest part of the whole lot, tying the knot. You're going to take the first end that's closest to you, up and over, and pull. Don't pull tight, you don't need to pull tight, just pull. Then you're going to put your hook under that, and you're going to grab, see how you've got 2 sides of this band, you're going to grab one side and bring it under with you and up, then put it back through here, and that's going to go over the top. Grab the little band there and pull. Now you don't want to pull it so tight that it's going to snap, but you do want a secure knot there. These flare out, as you can see, like that. So it looks sort of like a daffodil petal, really, doesn't it? What you're going to do is take a spoon and slide your skirt onto your spoon to stretch it out. Make sure these are all nicely splayed out. Now, to put your doll in, all you're going to do is pop her legs in here, stuff them in. 1 and 2, wiggle her down. It's almost like she's going to be lying in the spoon bed. Okay, angle it to where you want the waist to be, so her waist is going to be about there. As you pull the spoon out, the dress, her legs come down. Okay, so this is how she would be able to stand in her dress, like that. Alright, if you wanted to do her in a standing dress. Now, the other thing we need to do for her are some wings, because TinkerBell has wings. So these are the two styles of skirt that I have for her. Okay, and now let's do some wings. What I'm going to do, you take 2 bands, because we're double banding, so 2, and you place them over the pegs as 1. Your loom is going to be in the offset configuration, which means column 1 and 3 are slightly lower than column 2. You're going to start by placing your bands here, like this. Okay, and then we will come down 3 pair on this left side. You will then come down so that you finish 1 pair below the left side for the middle. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 pair. Okay, and then here we're going to finish 1 pair below the middle. So that's 1, 2. Now if you don't have glitter white, you can use white, you can use clear, you can use whatever you like. I've used pearl before when they were available. I think they're a bit of a limited item. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 pair for here too. This is where we put the tips of the colour that you choose. It doesn't have to be the lime green. I'm using the Rainbow Loom Fairy, the Sweets Lime Green. That's just because that's what I've used for TinkerBell. Wrap the single band around your hook once and twice, and you're going to pop that on the end here. Once and twice, and pop that on the end. Now obviously you need to do 2 of these, once and twice, and pop on the end. 2 wings I'm talking about. Take a single glitter band and stretch it between the 3 top pegs there, and then you're going to take another one and stretch between the next 3 pegs, and your last one will go between these 3 pegs. Alright, now we're ready to loop this up. Dig down past your coloured end cap, grab the bottom, I suppose, 2 bands, the first 2 glitter bands, but they're the only glitter bands, and loop up, and loop up, and loop up, and loop up. Do the same for the other 2 columns. Careful with your end cap, make sure you keep that in place. Push that crossover band back with your hook. Now I can see that this little green band has come off the peg. It doesn't really matter because I did manage to loop up the bands. Make sure you get both. Okay, at this point we're doing the side ones and the side ones. As I said, we need to do 2 of these, so down the bottom of your loom you could have another one ready to be doing. You're going to take 2 single, well, two single, of course they're going to be 2 single, 2 bands, and poke your hook down the center here and out the side. Pop them on the end of your hook, drag them through to the back side of that peg, okay? And you're going to take this off the loom. We are not tying it off, we're not securing it. So this is 1 wing. Now I'm covered in glitter. Okay, so that's 1 wing. You can see how it's graduated. Now I prepared my second one already, so you can prepare yours if you want to. Well, I suggest you do, otherwise she's going to be flying around in circles, isn't she? Dig down, pause your video and catch up with me. When you've caught up with me, let's loop up our second wing. I'm having difficulty talking this morning. It's early. I've had 1 cup of coffee. I'm going to say that's my excuse. So loop up, your second wing, push this down, push down. Now I want this one to end up on the same set of bands as this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one side of my hook out, I'm going to take my other side of my hook out, so this is just sitting on 2 bands like this. I'm going to dig down through all of those bands and I'm going to put this on the end of my hook. Now I'm going to make it so that the largest 1, 2, 3, 4, this largest set is facing outward. Okay, drag that back up to the back side, reclaim the end, and I'm going to take this off. So you see how it's matched up. Okay, I've got the 2 larger sides together. It's like a mirror image, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, So we have both wings on these two. I'm going to take the two closest to me, up, over and off, and there's my slip knot. I'm pulling that tight, but not so tight that it's going to break the bands, but they're nice and tight now. So for dear old Tink, what I'm going to do, you can split these two tie-off bands. If you look at the back of her, okay, just down here, get a smaller hook, just down here you have these two, okay. I'm going to push my hook through the first two here. I'm going to make it so that the larger part of the wing is at the top and the smaller part is at the bottom. I'm going to grab one side of the tie-off band and pull it back through like that. Okay, I'm just going to hold it. I'm going to do the same the other side. I'm going to go under those other two bands, grab the tie-off band and pull it through. Now to secure it on her back, all I'm going to do is splay this band out and pop that wing through, and I'm going to do the same this side. Splay the band out and pop the wing through, and there you have her wings on her. And we can put her little skirt on. A little tutu, spread that out, and there you have TinkerBell, and you have her standing skirt as well, should you wish to change her into it. Also, I guess you can change the colour of her wings at any time as well, just make a new pair of wings. There she is, there's TinkerBell. Hope you like her. Take care.